All right, happy Lonely Friday night, everybody. Lonely Black Friday, as it were, if you're watching us live. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing good. Welcome to the loneliest show on the internet, what was once the loneliest name in late night. A little earlier than usual, 6 p.m. start time. Again, if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, as I think most of you probably aren't, then it doesn't matter. But as it turns out, there, I guess, are more human beings at this hour than hours before. So we're going to test a couple things here on Sam Roberts Now. We're going to see if coming on a Friday evening works better for more of you than a Friday late night. But regardless, Hot Dog is here. How could we do it without him, right? Welcome, Hot Dog. How are you?
Hello, you caught me off guard. I had my sleeping mask on when you called me, and I was
6 p.m.
Easy.
instead of 10 p.m. is going to really just throw your whole sleep schedule off.
Yeah, usually I hide until the show starts. So.
Right, and you still can. It's just it's an earlier wake up time, the 6 p.m. wake up time. That means you're going to have to start waking up at 5:57 p.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna the whole day
tough.
Schedule shifted.
It's tough. I hope everybody's had a good holiday. I hope everybody here in the States had a good Thanksgiving. Everybody's revving up for Christmas. I caught a lot of flack, by the way, on the internet because I set up my Christmas tree way early this year. I thought it would.
I feel like I saw that photo like weeks ago.
Way before, like 2 weeks ago. I set up the Christmas tree and said, we have to. There's too much anger. There's just, I can't have it around me. There's too much anger. There's too many reasons to celebrate, and there's too much to appreciate to have anger around you. This, Hot Dog, was why I set up the Christmas tree when I did. I wanted to bring the joy of the holiday into my life to try to get, it just feels like everywhere you go, it's anger.
This kind of goes a little bit towards my Thanksgiving sucks debate that I had with you. You just skip Thanksgiving.
But that's why I got really upset with you, because you go on your social media and you were like, "Am I the only one who thinks Thanksgiving suck?" And I'm like, this is why the Christmas tree's up, because of people like you. Because I'm like, oh, let me see what it's not even like, would you stay off social media? Well, what if I just want to see what my actual friends are doing? It's not like I'm like looking through strangers' profiles to get mad at something. I'm like, let me see what my buddy's doing. Like, maybe he'll have a picture of his Thanksgiving dinner.
For Thanksgiving.
And I'm like, I can't escape it. I can't escape it. And then I get angry. I start texting Hot Dog and Travis, going like, you can't blame a holiday for the fact that your life sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you hate Thanksgiving because of your family, not because of Thanksgiving.
I got a few people going like, yep, I hate back at you.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you.
And family.
How many? Same family? Yeah.
Some.
Yeah. Not a shock. Not a shock to me. But I'd be maybe I'm overly sensitive to this, because I feel like, try as I might to bring joy into the world, it's just, sometimes I feel like I'm Tony Soprano. What am I, a toxic person? Negativity follows me. Hot Dog, my @ mentions on Twitter are only now starting to clear up. Only now am I kind of able to go back into my @ mentions. And I feel like this happens way more often than I plan. Like, it's one thing for like the professional trolls that are like, it's kind of the business that they're in.
Their job. They're in the business of making you feel bad.
Yeah, and it's like, when I do like the wrestling stuff, I expect that response, like, right? Like there's some trollness going on to the wrestling stuff. So when I get like all these like angry wrestling fans coming at me, more often than not, I'm like, okay, I did my job. You're doing your job. We're all good.
Actors are playing their part.
But I feel like we're not all, I feel like maybe we're not all in sync. Like I'm sitting there going like, I did my part. You do your part. The universe works. I feel like sometimes the people doing their part don't realize they're just doing their part. Because they're like, let me put Sam Roberts in the context of he's an awful human being no matter what he says. Anytime he says something, let me make sure that I expect the worst. And I go, why?
And sometimes they're right.
What? I mean, sometimes. There are times, but not all the time. I mean, I try to have a little fun. Kid Rock puts out maybe the most ridiculous song anybody's ever heard. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live. I mean, it's a South Park song. It's an old man shaking at a cloud, shaking his fist at a cloud. It's everything. He's literally riding the middle finger into space, saying
participation trophy.
Yeah, mad at participation trophies. I thought we were over that. I didn't even think participation trophies were, one of the talking points anymore. I thought
like 10 years ago.
I know, that's what I thought. And he's like, millennials, screw the millennials. And I'm sitting there going like, this is absurd. Millennials aren't even the kids. When Ben Shapiro goes and talks at a college and he gets thrown out because the college kids are too mad, they're not millennials. They're Gen Zers.
That's how out of touch he is. He probably doesn't even know what a Gen Zer is yet.
Okay. So you're starting to see... But it's funny. Like it's still like it's funny. Like you don't agree with it, but it's clearly hilarious that this is a thing. And
catchy. It's pretty catchy.
You can't tell me, no matter how much you disagree, no matter how much you hate old Bob Ritchie, you weren't sitting there humming around your house. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live. Like you know how many times I sat there with my family at Thanksgiving last night wanting to yell that right in my mom's face. Hey, she'd go, Sam, can you pass the Brussels sprouts? And I go, hey, Mom, ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live. She'd go, what are you talking about?
I was humming that during Zoom meetings at work.
Of course.
Hoping that no one knew exactly what I was humming.
You better watch out. You start humming that and all these millennials with participation trophies will get all mad. So it's funny. It's funny. I thought. So Hot Dog, I made the mistake. I should have kept my mouth shut. That's what I got to learn.
Enter the dome.
I know.
You decided to do this.
But I thought everybody was having fun with this. I thought there wasn't anybody that could look at that video and not just be like, hilarious. For whatever reason you want it to be. I mean, I thought it was, dripping with irony that Kid Rock may or may not be aware of. But it doesn't matter if he's aware of it or not. It's just hilarious. And I sent this tweet out.
Everyone was on that same page. But they were not. They didn't know you were on that same page as them.
But then it's like, maybe people just really think that they're smart. You know what I mean? Like people need to be the only one. Like, it's not enough to sit there and be like, this song is ridiculous. I think this is it. They go, it's not enough that this song is ridiculous. I need to find somebody that thinks this song is not ridiculous so that way I can tell them I'm smarter than you. I'm right and you're wrong. As opposed to being like, let's all just enjoy the silliness of it.
And what did you do? You said,
I
volunteer.
I did. I did. I said, I see a whole bunch of social media lions that are in the middle of this arena. And all of us are just sitting there watching the lions.
They're just wandering. They're just walking in circles.
They're wandering, waiting. They're sniffing. I go, would you guys like it if I jump down there? Would you like to see that? I think the lions will pick up on my sarcasm, don't you? And everybody's like, yeah, definitely. And I know because I'll show you the tweet in a minute. But let me tell you something. I was talking to Peter Rosenberg because he's I feel like he hits different audiences than I do. And
he's hipper than you are.
he is probably a little hip. You know, I bet Hot 97 skews pretty young. He is a little hipper than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, you never believe what's happening in my app mentions right now. And he goes, you don't even have to tell me. I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw your tweet, and I thought to myself, that's funny. I know what Sam's saying, but they won't. And I was like, well, Rosenberg, it's no wonder you got 2 radio shows, because you hit the nail on the head, my friend. Here was the tweet. I tweeted out the video. It wasn't even my upload. I just found the video that somebody else tweeted, right-click, tweet this video, and I wrote, so glad the bull god is back. All right, hot dog, right there. Am I expecting too much of people? Because I read this tweet when Ian Fidance was over here this week to do Sopranos Prima Volta. That sentence, the first thing Ian Fidance said was, who supports Kid Rock by calling him the bull god? Like, the minute that you call him the bull god, is anybody sitting there going like, hell yeah, the bull god?
Yeah, but you're dealing with people who aren't Kid Rock fans, so they don't know much about Kid Rock at this point because it's been a while. So maybe they just assume, that's the bulldog, I guess, and the bull god.
The bull god,
so,
hot dog. Get it right. Get it right, you millennial. You're not getting a participation trophy. You keep getting words wrong, no trophy.
Exactly. But that's where you messed up.
Okay, all right.
You always the best in people.
I think you're right, hot dog. I think too highly of human beings. This is true. I think too highly of human beings. I don't sit there. They go, Sam, you shouldn't write that. I go, why? It's so easy to understand. Somebody should say, they're not on your level, Sam. They don't get you. They're not on your level. I go, come on. Come on. People are great. And they go, no, people are shit. And I go, oh, yeah, well, let's find out who's right. Apparently I wasn't. I go, so glad the bull god is back. And then I wrote, all you young millennials, parentheses, a generation who by now are age 30 and above, end parentheses. Then I wrote, can chew on this, exclamation point, rock hand, middle finger, middle finger. Like,
I felt attacked when you said that I should chew on that.
So some people read that as an attack on millennials. I guess like they took the parenthetical, I believe is what it's called, when you put something in a parentheses. And instead of reading this as clearly, I'm teasing the fact that Kid Rock is like still attacking millennials when they're so old, that somehow millennials don't realize that they're 30. Why would anybody think that? And then I wrote, chew on this. I speak professionally for a living. That's how I
what did you in.
I feed my family through speaking publicly. Why would I think chew on this is a good insult? Okay. Why, if I wanted to, I speak publicly, professionally. I'm the last professional broadcaster. If I wanted to really give it to an entire generation of which I am a member, why would chew on this be my phrase of choice?
Knowing you for me not to get worked, I felt a visceral reaction when you told me to chew on this. Yeah.
like, okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere, because I feel like that's it. That right there. Like, in your heart, you know me. You know exactly where I'm coming from. You could hear my voice in the tweet. You were like, Sam would never tell me to chew on this as an attack. Clearly, this is as sarcastic as anybody could be. But you also have that Twitter thing in you where you're not going on Twitter for the lulls. You're going on Twitter for the attacks. So you see this and you're like, in your brain, you know it's a lull. But then the blood starts formulating and the emotions start going, and you're like, but it feels like an attack.
Those chemicals in my body started reacting because I saw the chew on this.
Chew on this. So you think that's what it was? It wasn't the fact that millennials are not young, which again, not an attack on millennials, just a reference to the calendar. more an attack on anybody who talks. If you talk about millennials as if they are the young generation, you are very old. That's what that means. That means it
could be implied.
Go ahead.
Could be implied that you're attacking my age, bro.
How?
How? Why are you making us confront the fact?
I thought you were okay with it. I thought you all I thought I was aware of it. Like I thought it was funnier to millennials that this Kid Rock guy would show up and be like, "Hey, all you millennial kids," and it's like all the millennials are like, "Are you serious, dude? Like, there's a whole generation under us that thinks we're lame."
No, but we kind of want to still be kids, so that's where you messed up. Like that part of your Kid Rock song didn't bother us at all.
Okay. I wasn't sensitive to that then. I see.
Like,
well,
yeah, that's us.
Well, apparently when I thought, a couple of likes, couple of retweets, a quote tweet here and there, and, I would just go about my day. I didn't even think this would be one of those things that lasted until the evening. A lot of times I
throw away.
Exactly. I tweet things, I forget that I tweeted them. And I go, oh, why I got replies? And I go, oh, because I tweeted a thing. This, I was not allowed to forget. I knew the next morning when I woke up and my verified tab on my account wasn't even protected from the onslaught. Even my verified tab, the reason verified tabs exist is it's us blue check marks having a safe space. It's where we can go in and go, let's get out of the mishmash of my app mentions and just hang out. It's the VIP room. It's the champagne lounge. There's a velvet rope before you go in there. Then when I see Patricia Arquette pops up in my app, and I'm like, Patricia Arquette, why is this on her radar? Ethan Embry from Empire Records. I love Empire Records. What's Ethan Embry doing in there? And look, I can't, respond to this because it's like Patricia Arquette shows a GIF of somebody jumping into a room full of fire. I don't know what that's in reference to. I don't know. I'm assuming I'm gonna say it's in reference to the song, right? The song is what I'll say.
Figure that out.
Say that again?
I think that's what you did when you tweeted it out.
So you think that was an attack on me?
Yeah.
You think Patricia Arquette took time out of her day to attack me?
Yeah, she got those chemicals building up, spoiling.
She felt what you felt. She's smart. Patricia Arquette knows. Patricia Arquette knows I was being sarcastic. But she had those feelings. So, like, when I'm going through these things, right, and I just get flooded with people insulting Kid Rock, that's awesome. Like, we're all having fun together then, right? Like, that's not an issue. Like, the fact that it's not even my video, but, like, the fact that would get that kind of response, it's like, okay, we're all saying the same thing. It's the attacks on me, as if the tweet was literal, that was like, I was like, I couldn't have even imagined that this would be a response. I was telling Jess what was happening. My wife is like, you know what she said? Why you always do this? We don't need this. Why you always do this? I was like, I don't know. I read her the tweet. She was like, yeah, what'd you think was going to happen? Now look at some of this stuff. 2 in a row. Thank you for clarifying what age millennials are. See, that I can read the sarcasm in. I don't think that person was actually thanking me for clarifying. I think they were thinking that it was condescending of me to clarify what age millennials are, but apparently I needed to be condescending because you are too stupid to realize that I'm not doing that.
I agree with this person.
And then this next person says, yes, thank God, not the bull god, the regular god. Although lowercase, you're supposed to capitalize the big man's name. Yes, thank God he announced it. I forgot my age, and none of my fellow young millennials could help me figure it out. And I'm going like, oh, that's not what I meant. I'm not making fun of millennials. How could you? What do you? I know you know how old you are. I know how old I am.
Fuck.
I got a reply. Somebody replied to me. They looked up my wiki and like my birth date and my age, and they circled it and circled my age to go like, yo, bro, now who you talking to? And I'm like, I don't even know what you thought this was.
Is that this you?
Look at this one. You seem pretty triggered, Sam Roberts. They said Sam Roberts. First of all, it's threatening when you use a man's first and last like that. That's like a threat. Sam Roberts, you seem pretty triggered. And second of all, like, I get it. That's what people say, like, when, like, people who are following the agenda complain about triggered millennials as if they are triggered by the triggeredness, then people go like, well, you're the one who's triggered. And it's true. Like, it's all the same thing. But I wasn't. If anything, I would have been triggered by the Kid Rock song. It was sarcastic. It was ironic. It was, you know.
We long forgot about that Kid Rock song, bro.
It wasn't about the Kid Rock song anymore. It's about you, bro. Look at this one. You're 38, Sam. First of all, that's very specific. And then it's a meme of Garfield going, I wonder who that's for. How about this one? That ratio is chef's kiss. Okay, now I know they weren't talking about Kid Rock's ratio. They were talking about my ratio. However, I will say, you'll never catch me not laughing when somebody gets ratioed, so I can't get mad. If people, I can't get mad at laughing at a ratio. I'm upset that they took away the dislike button because there's less ratios.
What is it, like 200 likes, 4,000 quote tweets?
Yeah, it's a lot of quote tweets. Yeah, a lot of quote tweets. And then this person, this is why people don't take you seriously, Sam. This is why.
That person knew you. That person knows who you are, at least. Like,
Yep. I had a lot of people still mad about the Bianca Belair stuff that said, of course Sam Roberts would tweet this. And I go, okay, no. Now we're pulling from different places. Like, these are years apart. Don't paint a picture of me.
You got in trouble last month.
The Renee Young. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I was joking. I was kidding. I was only kidding.
We don't even have to go that far back, Sam. Forget Bianca.
No, you're right. They probably just remember from like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, were you being sarcastic again? I was like, yeah, I was. Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, it's just nonstop. How about this one? It's a picture of Kid Rock with like the Kid and Play hairdo, flipping the finger. And I go, okay, this is going to be a good tweet. They're going to make fun of Kid Rock. And it says, oh, yeah, Sam, I bet this dude goes pretty hard. And if they had stopped right there, I'd be like, okay, they got that wrong. Like, it feels argumentative as opposed to agreement, but that's okay. And then it says comma, and I go, uh-oh, there's a comma. And it goes, LMFAO, you nerd. I was like, well, there's no doubt that they're not talking about the KID. They're throwing the nerd word at me.
Facts, though.
Yeah, maybe. This one. Your taste in music is absolutely horrible. This is like, hey, guys, just wanted to turn you on to a new song. Like, what? That's what you read into this?
Man, you need to, start just posting literal tweets.
Maybe. Yeah. Just plug. Hey, this is a thing that I'm doing. How about this one? Dork-ass loser enjoys music from dork-ass loser. He called me a dork-ass loser.
Yeah,
I don't want that dork-ass loser. And the guy had like a weird like green hair mohawk. He looked like a dork-ass loser, but you don't see me tweeting about it.
Yeah, I mean, fight every single one of them. There's thousands.
There's a lot.
You know?
There's a lot. And I know I can always count on you. Anytime I tweet out, oh boy, it's not a good weekend for the old Samster. The at mentions are not looking good. You always write BRB, fam. And you go and you check out my at mentions and you have yourself a
burner.
Yeah.
You get my burner account, the Patricia Arquette account.
I do like to notify my friends, hey guys, jump into the at mentions. You got to see what's cooking in here.
Well, I mean, I saw it I saw the tweet as soon as you posted it, and I thought the same thing as you. Like, oh, okay, I can funny. Throw because it wasn't until the next day you mentioned it on the show, and then a bunch of blue check marks that I recognize quote tweeting you, and I go, oh man,
yeah, like Tim from Tim and Eric quote tweeted me, and I'm like, I mean, Tim from Tim and Eric. If anybody should understand sarcasm, no, because if he goes like, yeah, but this isn't funny, what am I gonna be like? Hey, what do you know about funny? What'd you ever do? Oh, a lot. Yeah.
You need to write like / sarcasm.
But that takes away the point. Like, I got annoyed already. Like, I did have to put tweets out going like, nobody understands sarcasm anymore. I hate explaining this stuff. That's the whole point. I hate explaining this stuff. But also, when you do explain it, nobody checks your other tweets. Nobody does any fact checking. Like, that's where it got out of control. When the blue check marks started quote tweeting and retweeting me, that's when it was like troublesome, because nobody's going like, oh, who is this Sam Roberts and why did he tweet that? They're just like, this asshole. Like,
let me click on his page and look for some more context.
Nobody did that. Nobody did that. Because it's too tempting. It's too tempting to be like, hey, y'all. And then they get their, small Twitter army. And everybody's got these tiny little Twitter armies, but you get enough tiny little armies, they getting at you, all of a sudden, you're Gulliver's Travels. You're the big giant, and you're like, oh, there's a bunch of tiny people. I'm a big giant. I could kill all these tiny people. There's too many of them. They got you tied down to the beach. There's nothing you could do.
Teacher might have quoted you.
Who?
My high school teacher. Just someone completely unrelated.
Exactly.
I saw her. Yeah.
And it's like...
This is expanded far and wide.
And then they go like this. Hot dog, that's your boy? And you're like, nope. I don't know what he's talking. Nope.
Your mans?
That's your man's right there? No, used to be. Not anymore, though. He got, nope. I don't know anything about that.
Lost me with that one.
Yeah, exactly. You would never go like this. Oh, yeah, I think he was just kidding. You'd go like this. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know.
Yep, I don't know what he's talking about.
It's a real shame. It's a real shame. But
fun though. It's fun for the rest of us.
Fun.
So I appreciate it.
It's fun. Yeah.
You jumped into the arena.
Sometimes I do it knowingly. Like, it is fun. Like, because it's not a thing. Like, it's not real. Like, your app mentions get fucked up for a while. Like, who cares? It doesn't do anything. And then, like, you talk to people, like, you think, like, oh, because it's in your app mentions. So you go, everybody must be aware. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. It's not a thing.
As the kids say, you got.
Yeah. But you know what does happen, though? You go, like, you send out a tweet, like, 2 days later, you forget. You send out a tweet, and then, like, 15 minutes later, you check your Twitter again, and you see the replies, and you're like, oh, I guess people are resonating. Like, I'll go, like, oh, Sam Roberts now, new early start time. And then I'll wait 15 minutes. Then I'll go like 20 replies. And I go like, oh, I guess people are into it. And I check. It's all Kid Rock stuff. I forgot.
Leftover. Tweet.
I forgot. I can't go into my mentions still. I forgot.
It's like when a bomb drops and it's
shrapnel.
You still gotta
shrapnel. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I can't imagine. For instance, what Aaron Rodgers is going through at this point. Did you hear that he had another round of vitriol?
Media round?
No. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did, because he had to I guess not play because of an unspecified issue with his toe. And people were already in their feelings about the fact that he had to miss a game because he got the COVID and he wasn't vaccinated. I didn't even know this was a thing until this week. But apparently, I'm ignorant because this has been a thing. If you go on YouTube and look it up, there are videos from like a year ago that explain this symptom. Have you ever heard of COVID toes?
COVID toes?
COVID toes.
No.
Yes, there's a thing called COVID toes. And if you get COVID and your immune system is fighting COVID, one of the things that happens is that your toes can get like all purple and like lesions and stuff on them. And it can be real bad.
Ew.
And you're looking it up now. It can be very painful. Like so painful that you can't play football right. So people were like, Aaron Rodgers has COVID toe. And Aaron Rodgers was like, I don't have COVID toe. And they were like, yes, you do. and he was like, it's just a thing. Like, don't worry about it. And then people started getting on him. They were like, hey, stupid Aaron Rodgers, if you had gotten vaccinated, maybe you wouldn't have so much COVID toe. And he was like, I don't have COVID toe. And they were like, you definitely have COVID toe. Hot dog, this guy went into a Green Bay Packers press room. You know, they get the team to come in and they all the people get to ask all kinds of questions. My man Aaron Rodgers is on WikiFeet now because he had to show his foot on camera. He had to show, let me show you. Let me get through all these terrible tweets. He had to show his foot on camera because people were so obsessed with the idea that he had COVID toes.
On this camera, let me see if I can.
Look at that.
Oh,
The big foot for the whole world to see. You know, celebrities, they have to protect their feet with everything because there are a lot of freaks out here and a lot of people trying to get celebrity foot pics. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you know, it's not like it's, I don't know, Uma
Sexiest
Thurman
toes.
or something, but it's still Aaron Rodgers, you know? And he's got to show his foot. He's plastered all over Wiki Feet now because he needs to prove to the world that he doesn't have COVID toes. And I mean, if we can do a medical examination, if you look at these toes, they don't appear to be purple in the image. He doesn't appear to have COVID toe. I'm not a doctor, okay? I don't.
Just a little bit. It looks a little red.
Where do you see red? What toe specifically? I'm looking at it right now.
All toes there. Look.
Do you mean like
red.
the bottom of the toes here?
No, I mean I'm looking at a photo. I'm not looking at that same thing. But
Well,
the
maybe
photo I'm looking at looks a little red.
First of all, it's purple COVID toes, not red.
Okay.
Like you can get red feet. Keep in mind, Green Bay is very, very cold. So maybe his feet are cold. They turn red. Maybe they've been packed into hot socks. They turn red. But I'm saying that doesn't look like he's got purple COVID feet. Does it?
No, not purple,
But you're not the same way you're not willing to go on the record and say clearly Sam Roberts was being sarcastic. You're not willing to go on the record to say that you don't think Aaron Rodgers has COVID toes.
It's entirely possible.
Hey, we're not doctors, hot dog. We are not doctors. But listen to what Aaron Rodgers had to say. We'll take his word for it.
oh, there's no leak.
Hang on, let me scroll back.
If I can. Oh, there's no lesions whatsoever.
No lesions.
Oh, what a surprise. No, that's actually called when you perpetuate false information about an individual. I have a fractured toe
Fractured toe, he
on this
says.
camera. Let me see
Fractured
if I
toe,
can-
hot dog.
Oh, there's no lesions
Is that
whatsoever.
is that what the doctor said?
Oh, what a surprise. No, that's
We
actually
need some more
called
evidence.
disinformation.
Disinformation.
When you
I mean, I don't know if he wants to get into the disinformation thing because then it's going to trigger people like, you know what I mean? Like this, like then we're getting back to the narrative and like maybe just, you know, he says he's got a fractured toe. I don't think that you get fractured toes from COVID. I'm not a doctor.
Neither am I.
I could talk to a doctor and find out, but I can't be sure. I just have
I mean,
to.
this all goes back to the first case. I mean, the first drama he had. This is just leftover drama.
It
you know?
is. It is. Yeah, no, it does still go back to the vaccine thing and the holistic medicines and the this and the that. Yeah. But if the guy doesn't have COVID toe, he might not have, like he could still, should Aaron Rodgers have been, I would have gotten vaccinated if I was Aaron Rodgers. I got vaccinated. Hot dog half got vaccinated. I actually got
I got that
vaccinated.
J&J pure, 100%,
How many?
baby.
How many?
One and done.
You're at least 2 behind then.
What?
You should have like 4 or 5 of those J&J shots, I think. I'm not a doctor.
No,
I don't know.
They told me back in April. And done.
They flipped the script on it, though, didn't they?
If I don't read up on the news on it, I'm not informed enough to know.
Yeah, must have slipped by my radar, Doc. Yeah,
Everyone at work is like, yeah, I gotta leave in the middle of the day and get my booster shot. And I go, never.
So you don't think you're not getting a booster because one and done?
No, I'm an anti-booster.
I see. Everybody needs to get the first shot, not that second one.
No,
I
there's no need
see.
for that.
Okay,
I feel
see.
fine.
I see.
I feel great.
All right. I mean, we're not a doctor.
No.
I just don't see anything wrong with that guy's foot. Other than, I guess, he's got a fractured toe. But if he had a fractured toe, wouldn't he say, I've got a fractured toe instead of an unspecified toe issue?
Also, if you're gonna put out your toe out for everyone to see, everyone wrong with your toes.
That's true. That's true. Nobody's got a perfect foot. Like if I was like, I don't have COVID hands, they'd be like, so why are your thumbs so big then? I'd be like, all right, it's a good question. I don't know. You're right. That's why
COVID fingers.
Yeah. I can't get on Twitter and say this stuff. They'll come for me. They're always coming for me.
COVID fingers just tweeting about Kid Rock all day.
Yeah. Probably why you got them. I'll tell you what I did do. And I feel like it might be one of the greatest examples of the true garbage that I am. Everybody's talking about this Beatles documentary that they put out. I guess it's on Disney Plus. They put out a Beatles documentary where you get
on Disney.
Yeah,
I didn't expect it to be there.
Yeah. Disney Plus got the Beatles doc, and it's like this just tremendous amount of footage. And they're just like, it's the Beatles. We'll just put all the footage in, and you'll be able to see, these works of art being crafted right before your eyes. Apparently, it's amazing. I don't know. I haven't seen it because I was too busy watching the Von Dutch documentary. I saw, I could see where a Beatles doc would be interesting, but let me really get into this whole Von Dutch thing. I wanted to know everything about the Von Dutch craze. Do you remember Von Dutch, Hot Dog?
I just know it's a clothing brand.
Oh, you bet. I mean, it was the clothing brand for a period of time. I would watch documentaries like this nonstop. I loved the LuLaRoe documentary. This Von Dutch documentary. I can't wait until they put out an Affliction documentary. I will be all over it.
Oh, yeah.
All over it. And then maybe eventually I'll get to watch Paul McCartney writing some of the most important songs in our history. But until then, I need to make sure that I got the full story on everything Von Dutch. Von Dutch was hot like the early 2000s, just as like celebrity culture was coming to a crashing end. Right before the internet had to come and save everybody, when it was like everything, it was just becoming obliterated. And part of that obliteration was this obsession with this Von Dutch brand. And what I always found interesting about it, and I always thought it was so stupid, was nobody knew why, how, what. It was just the thing. And the trucker hat was what put them on the map. It was like the Ashton Kutcher, Paris Hilton wearing the trucker hat. And if you're going to wear the trucker hat, it had to be a Von Dutch trucker hat. Who's Von Dutch? I don't know. What does it mean? I don't know. Why are you wearing it? Because I don't know. It looks cool. I saw somebody else wearing it. And that was the whole thing. It was like
Ashton Kutcher. That guy was synonymous with that for a second.
100%. It was like the greatest social experiment ever. If we can somehow convince a whole bunch of celebrities to wear this hat, will it just be cool and people won't question it? And the answer is 100% yes. 100% of the time, yes. And it's exactly what happened. There's a 3-episode Von Dutch docu-series on Hulu. It's nice that it's only 3 episodes, but we probably could have told the story in 90 minutes if we were really trying. Even at 3 episodes, you're like, you probably could have squeezed this into 90 to 120 minutes without an issue.
That's just the format nowadays. That's just it is what it is.
Yeah, you're right. It is what it is. You're trying to keep people on the app as long as possible. But so I'm sitting there trying to figure out. You want to hear the story about Von Dutch, Hot Dog? You want to hear what happened with this variant? Okay, here's what happened. Here's what happened with Von Dutch, because I had no idea. Like, Von Dutch to me was a brand so deeply connected to the douchebag that I couldn't think of a more douchebag brand. Like, I feel like Von Dutch is synonymous with douche. What I didn't realize is it's half douche, half straight up gangster. Like, drug dealing, murdering, guns, cash, gangster / douche. And the idea that those two worlds can come together is fascinating to me, because you end up in this space where you have all these douches that are going like, oh, this is so great, we're making all this money. And then they got to worry about the fact that there's all these gangsters that are like, we'd like some of the money or we're going to kill your family. And it's like, what's going on? And then the reason, and I'm going like, well, that must have been why Von Dutch collapsed. No, it's not why Von Dutch collapsed, but we'll get into that. So here we go, Hot Dog. It's great. So
okay.
The way the whole thing starts is, and you watch, you realize what a mess it is when the documentary starts by introducing like 3 or 4 people, and they're all the creator of Von Dutch with a question mark next to it. They're all saying, I'm the creator of Von Dutch. Yep, I'm the creator of Von Dutch. Yes, I am the creator of Von Dutch.
The sole creator.
Yes. So there's this guy who I would credit as probably the creator of okay. There was a creator of the Von Dutch clothing brand, and then a guy who really turned up the douche nozzle. And a lot of times you wouldn't want to give credit to the guy that turned up the douche nozzle, but the fact is that clothing brand is synonymous with having the douche nozzle turned all the way up. So maybe the douche guy gets the credit. I don't know, but the initial clothing brand credit I would actually give to this guy. His name was Mike Cassell. And Mike Cassell, he was a drug dealer, okay? And he's the real deal. He was smoking something. It was either heroin or crack or something in the documentary, like now, like to do the interview. yeah.
It wasn't old footage, right?
No. He was sitting, it's current day, and he was sitting, and I don't know what he was smoking, but it was something, it was a cardboard pipe and something in tinfoil that you would have to heat up and then smoke. Like not.
I didn't know you like to get what?
Yeah, exactly. And he said it was for his pain. It very well might be, because at the time he needed a hip replacement. But that's neither here nor there. So Mike Cassell is a drug dealer, right? And he's a pretty hardcore drug dealer. And he's realizing that he says he's realizing that he had to, he at some point he was going to have to go straight. At some point he was going to have to figure out a real business. I think that part of it was also he needed to figure out how to funnel some money through something. You know what I mean?
A real.
Yeah. Like the same way Walter White was like, one day I'm going to wash cars. You know, probably. They didn't say that. That was my interpretation of it. But he said he wanted to start this business. So he starts this brand. It's called Bronze Age. It's like this clothing brand, because he said that he was always very sort of a logo-centric guy. Like he was always kind of aware of imaging and stuff like that. And so he creates this clothing brand called Bronze Age, and it's like all based around this skeleton fish. And it looks pretty cool. And it starts to take off a little bit. Mike Cassell ends up in jail. While he's in jail, for the drugs, he's dealing drugs. That's when he goes, okay, when I get out of jail, like no more of this drug nonsense. We got to straight up make some clothes here. This is what we're going to do. And he ends up working.
Money to wash. God damn it.
Well, no, again, he's not trying to wash it. Now he doesn't want to sell drugs anymore. He keeps going to jail. He's done going to jail. Doesn't want to sell drugs. Wants to sell clothes. Bronze Age.
Sure.
So when he gets out of jail, he's gonna take Bronze Age very seriously. And he meets this guy, kid named Bobby Vaughn, who's just like, like a straight up like California surfer dude, gangster guy. Like he's the man. He's the best storyteller in the whole thing. He's amazing. Like he's doing the documentary, and he's like in like kind of a vacant room, like kind of like an old factory or something with nothing in it. But he's sitting on a stool to tell his stories. And throughout the thing, like he keeps standing up to tell his stories. And he's like, and then I put him over here. And then he started going, yo. And I'm just like, I love how animated this guy is. Like this is the guy. If I were gonna have anybody from the Von Dutch show on Sam Roberts Now, I would want Bobby Vaughn on here. I feel like he and I would get along like old friends. And Bobby Vaughn has been through it. And we'll get into some of that. But so Bobby Vaughn is like, he's the right-hand man now to Mike Cassell. Mike Cassell is taking this Bronze Age stuff seriously. Bobby Vaughn wears Bronze Age all the time, and he's out here. He's a hustler. He's out here hustling. He's trying to figure out how to get like people and like different surfer dudes interested in it, and different people wearing it and going to parties and getting the whole thing going. So unfortunately, Mike Cassell is not like the biggest like business guy. Because just as Bronze Age starts going legit, and he's saying, like, bringing in, like, real money, they showed, like, an issue of 17 magazine. This is, like, mid to late 90s. There's, like, pictures of 17 magazine where, like, Bronze Age clothing is actually in the magazine as, like, oh, here's some of the hot new brands and whatever. And it's like, okay, things are going good. So this guy comes up, and he's like, I want to get into business with you. Let me buy the company from you. And they go, okay. He's like, how much inventory do you have? He's like, we got $35,000 worth of inventory. He's like, all right, I will give you $35,000 for the company. And Mike Cassell is like, sold. And so they sold their whole company for 35 grand. And like,
Doesn't.
no. And Bobby Vaughn's like, what? Why'd you do that? And so now, and then you know what the guy does after he buys Bronze Age?
What?
He puts it in bankruptcy immediately. Immediately puts it in bankruptcy. That company's gone. And Bobby and Mike are sitting there like, what do you want from me? So they go to this trade show, right? Because they're like, we still want to get into the clothing business, right? And they meet this guy named Ed Boswell. Ed Boswell, also, along with Mike and Bobby, also Ed Boswell, the creator of Von Dutch. So,
Nice.
so Bobby, not Bobby, Ed Boswell has Von Dutch patches. That's basically all he has, is he's got patches with the Von Dutch logo on it, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about Von Dutch, that's the whole brand, right?
Just a hat and with a patch. on it.
Patch, yeah, patch. So, so Ed Boswell is like a fan of Von Dutch, the artist. The artist Von Dutch was like this punk rock, anarchistic artist that revolutionized like pinstriping on cars and helmets and stuff like that. Like he was this amazing graphic artist. So Ed Boswell owned the rights to licensing the Von Dutch name for clothing and stuff like that. So he had all these patches that said Von Dutch on it. Mike and Bobby come up to Ed Boswell. They say, we want to get into business with you. We want to do this. We want to do that. He goes, okay. They start the Von Dutch clothing company all together. I think Boswell signs a deal where he's like, okay, you guys handle all that. You know what? I'm going to be hands off. Just give me 1% of the company. Just 1% of everything that you sell, and we'll be good. And so they start making clothes. They said the original Von Dutch clothes, it's literally, because they were going through like, they wanted to make it like, you know, kind of old school Americana, working class, hard denim, you know, worker pants, stuff like that. And so they said they literally took Dickies and they ripped the patch off the Dickies and they put a Von Dutch patch on it. And then they sold it. And that was like the first order, right? But pretty quick into this, Bobby and Mike, who are straight up gangsters, they're like, hey, Ed Boswell. He's like, yeah, what's up? Here's what I think we should do. And they're like, you know what we think we should do? Not have you in the company. Get the fuck out of here. And he's like, what do you mean? They're like, get out of here. And so Ed Boswell just gets pushed right out of his company. He doesn't even get his 1%. He's done. He's out of here. He's nonsense. So this whole thing where he's like, hey, I want to tell all you guys about this guy named Von Dutch. They were like, we got his name. Now tell your story, walk in. Kick rocks,
Thank you for
Ed.
your services.
Exactly. Take a hike. So Bobby and Mike are running this clothing brand now. And it's doing pretty well. You know, it's doing all right. But they need to go to the next level. So this guy, Tony Sorensen, who things don't work out. Tony Sorensen is Danish. He's from Denmark, you know. And he shows up into the States and he sees the Von Dutch logo. Oh, I'll tell you this, Bobby. This is how good Bobby is. And Bobby's telling this story. This is like the first time Von Dutch really makes a mark on the culture. He's like, Bobby is like, you know, trying to get into every party he can get into, talk to whoever he can talk to. And it's just a matter of getting celebrities to wear these Von Dutch shirts. He's got samples with him all the time. You know, he's doing the whole thing. So he meets a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows Pam Anderson. And this was like right after Pam and Tommy divorced, but it was still, you know, they were huge pop culture figures, like as big as they would ever be. And this is when Pam Anderson is doing that show VIP, which a lot of you probably don't remember, but I watched it all the time at like 2:00 in the morning on Fox. So
Never heard of it.
yeah, probably not. So, so he gets to go on set to VIP. Then Pam Anderson's like, okay, come to my trailer. I'll talk to you. He said, Pam Anderson is changing her pants in front of him. He sees the underpants and everything. He's like, this is crazy, yo. This is crazy. But eventually that meeting leads to, you should go see Tommy. Like, you should go see Tommy. You should give him some of your clothes. You should do that thing. I'm going to hook you up with Tommy Lee. So Bobby then goes to hang out with Tommy Lee. And whatever, they're partying. They wake up. He spends the night at Tommy Lee's house. They wake up the next morning. There's this camera crew there. And Bobby gets the door. And he's like, what up? And the camera crew's like, hey, we're here to shoot. We're going to be here all day. We need to come in. And he's like, Tommy's asleep. I don't know who you are. This is his house. What do you mean shoot here? You know who it was?
Oh.
MTV Cribs. MTV Cribs,
Nice.
yes, was there to shoot the Tommy Lee episode. So he said the whole time Tommy Lee's shooting that episode, he's still fucked up from the night before. And he's just like, talking about all his stuff. This is where the magic happens. But
You gotta imagine Tommy Lee is not daily life was back then. Though.
Exactly. This was a typical day in the life. Yes, 100%. So Bobby, in his infinite wisdom, in the middle of shooting, he goes like, yo, Tommy, you got to wear this shirt. You got to wear this shirt, bro. You got to wear this shirt, bro. This going to be hot. You got to wear this shirt. And Tommy goes like, yeah, dude. Yeah, I do. And he puts on the Von Dutch shirt. And then he's got all these girls over his house. So Bobby makes all the girls put Von Dutch stickers over the shirts that they're already wearing. So then MTV films this scene where Tommy's like, this is just a day in the life of my house. I'm partying with these girls, and everyone's wearing this Von Dutch stuff that nobody knows what it is. But it's like this amazing commercial. And I mean, MTV Cribs was a huge show. So this is how the buzz starts to build about this Von Dutch brand. So then this guy, Tony Sorensen, comes over to the States, and he sees a Von Dutch tank top hanging in like a car service station. And he's like, what's that all about? And he's like, oh, my boys Bobby and Mike do it. I'll introduce you to him. Mike, to this day, does not like Tony Sorensen. Tony's name is spelled Tonny. So Mike insists on calling him Tony. He goes, he says it's Tony, but it's Tony. So basically, Tony comes in and they, whatever, they hit it off. He and Mike become fast friends. I mean, it's great. He has a very rich wife, so he's got money. So he buys 50, and he's a Taekwondo expert. And he was in some B movies. Tony was in some B movies, and he's a Taekwondo expert from Denmark. And so he buys 51% of the company from Michael, where he will do all the business stuff, because that's not Michael's strong suit, and Michael will do all the designing and all that stuff. Now, while all this is going on, Michael's buddy Bobby starts hanging out with his friend again, who's a real gangster, who, when they were kids, shot a guy at a Burger King and fled to Mexico and hung out there for a while. Bobby found out he was back from Mexico. So this is Mark. And so he goes like, let me start hanging out with Mark again. So while Bobby's hanging out with Mark, Mike is hanging out with Tony, actually doing the business. And Bobby is sitting there going like, no, I was hustling. I was doing my thing. And everybody else is like, I don't know what the fuck Bobby was doing. Nothing. So they go like this. So they bring Bobby in. And they go, look, Bobby, I know things aren't working out right now. And they give him a deal. Remember in the Facebook movie, the contract they make Eduardo sign? As if it's like, good news, buddy. Here is your new contract. And Eduardo doesn't have any idea that he's signing something that's going to fuck him up.
We got you.
Welcome to Von Dutch, baby. Welcome to Von Dutch. So they make Bobby sign this contract. Well, they offer this contract. It's a real thick contract. And he goes, don't worry, Bobby. We're going to give you $10,000 right now because you got a kid. He's a single father at this point. We're going to give you 10 G's right now, and you're going to be able to have your own Von Dutch store, but no jeans at your store. No jeans, just like a separate brand. Like there's Ralph Lauren Polo and Polo Sport. You'll be like the Polo Sport to Von Dutch. It'll be so great. And Bobby's like, yeah? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, cool. Tell me where to sign. And no need for a lawyer. He just signs it right there. Within like a month, he's signed every right that he has to the company away, of course, by that time. And they go like this.
Sign this one last thing. Sign this one last thing that says that you don't own anything.
Right there. That one, just initial it. You know what? Just initial. Initial's fine. And then so he goes like, I'm running this store, right? And apparently he sold a pair of jeans or something. Cease and desist. You're fired. And he's fired from the company that he started it. And he's like, the fuck just happened here? And so now it's down to, it's still, and Mike and Tony are just sitting there going like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. Tony goes, we need to bring in a new designer. Something for the women. Something that can design clothes that women will like, because Mike, the stuff that you're designing is more for the dudes. Mike goes, okay, who do you have in mind? Christian Autegier comes in. Christian Autegier, who you might recognize his name as the person who after Ed Hardy started, who after Von Dutch started Ed Hardy. I just realized Ed Hardy and Von Dutch are two separate companies. Do you remember Ed Hardy?
Yeah, I remember Ed Hardy. I thought it was owned by Ed Hardy.
No. Christian Audigiers company. Yeah. I feel like it goes like Von Dutch becomes Ed Hardy, somehow becomes Affliction. Like it's kind of that. Like,
that's a timeline.
Yeah. So they bring in Christian Audigier, and he's the one that comes in, and he's like, let's just make some bullshit. You know what I mean? Let's just he's all energy. They're like, put together a catalog for us. You can come back in 60 days. 2 weeks later, he's like, I got everything we could ever need. Red pants, yellow pants, this, that. We're good. And so they're like, you're the man, dog. You're the man now, dog, is what they say. And so he's designing clothes and everything. And real quick, Tani goes like this. Well, if we don't have Bobby, and I got Christian Audigier, who do I not need here? And so what Mike, I don't even think realized, is that Tani had this thing in the contract that said there's a buy-sell option, which means at any point if one person wants to get out of the company, they say, you have the right to buy me out or I'm going to buy you out. So it's only going to be one of us. Now, when Tani explains this, he makes it sound like, I was really taking a risk here. I didn't know if he was going to buy me out. But the fact is that Mike is a felon, ex-drug dealer who put very little money into the company. And Tani is a businessman from Europe with a rich wife who put $2 million into the company. So basically, he said, Mike, you got 2 weeks to come up with $2 million or you're out of the company.
Oh, great.
And Mike's like, with like what? With like a kickback or a percentage? He's like, no. He's like, the fuck? Guess who's out of the company? Mike. So all the original parts of the company are done. And that's when it becomes, like, shocker, Christian Audigier from France, and this guy from Denmark come together, and they make, like, the biggest Euro trash clothing line ever imaginable, Like, now it's all starting to make sense. Like, they completely bastardize what the original thing was.
I mean, to be fair, it didn't sound all that highbrow to begin with.
It wasn't supposed to be like, let's just sell our souls for celebrity culture. It was supposed to be like, let's make something. It was like almost like a streetwear brand. It was like,
Okay.
It's supposed to be kind of hip,
Yeah.
So then in this part of the story, Tani starts going like, yeah, bro. And then I looked around and I was like, we had all these like smaller pieces of fabric that we couldn't do anything with. And I go, why don't we make some hats? And then Mike, they go to a shot of Mike, and he goes, what? I was making trucker hats from the beginning. This asshole didn't come up with the trucker hat. And then Tani was like, yes, I did come up with the trucker hat. And so whatever. They're both trying to take credit for the trucker hat. In all honesty, it could go back to Ed Boswell, who came up with the patch to put on the trucker hat. But regardless, doesn't matter. None of them are making money off of it except for Tani and Christian Audigier anyway. So they come out with this trucker hat, and they start just doling out clothes to celebrities. First, they go like this. How much does trucker hat cost you to make? Next to nothing. We made it with scraps. What do we want to sell it for? $19. Tani goes like this. Goes like this. How about like $68? I say, like, what are you, fucking nuts? For a trucker hat? He's like, that's a nice trucker hat. So they go like, all right, Tani, $68 it is.
What's good quality, and you raise up that price.
That's what
they're going to buy it because it's expensive.
Boom, hot dog. You must have gone to the Tani School of Business because it sold out immediately. They were like, we've struck gold. And boom, they start selling trucker hats left and right. What's next? They hire this guy named Tracy Mills to basically do what Bobby was doing before, but even better. Tracy Mills' whole job is to bring celebrities into the store and give them free shit. He somehow just has all these friendships with celebrities. And he goes like, oh, were you looking for something cool to wear? He brings in Usher. He brings in Bow Wow. He brings in Whitney Houston got to walk out with 30 bags, they said. 30 bags of free clothes.
Swag.
That's right. And Tani said, they came to me and they said, is it okay if Whitney Houston walks out with 30 bags? And you know what Tani said? He goes, do you know how beautiful she can sing? She can have 100 bags. And so
it doesn't, I guess it never changes. Or you're doing all right, or you're rich. Someone's offering free goodies.
Oh.
It's hard. It's tempting.
Yeah. Nobody's sitting there going like, what the fuck does this mean? They're like, yeah, I'll take that. Jay-Z and Beyonce were in there. Everybody was in there.
Like if you know, like Sam, like if you know you're being like someone's doing a business move and they just want you to wear something so they can get some eyes on it, and you know the whole game, but if you like free swag.
Yeah, I mean, I would, except, but it became like the celebrity uniform too. That's where I'd be like, I don't know if I want to wear the celebrity uniform. But
yeah, think about it.
Then the final huge push came when a little reality show called The Simple Life was premiering with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And right before the reality show, they basically just went into Von Dutch and got all the free clothes and just wore it nonstop on Simple Life. While all this is going on, these two large men in black suits with briefcases walk in to the Von Dutch store. They're like, is Tani here? They're like, yeah, he's upstairs. They're like, we're going to go ahead and need to speak with him.
He's like, it's me.
Yeah. God damn it, it's Tony. All right, Tony, let's go upstairs. So they go upstairs, and the guy introduces himself. He's like, hey, my last name is Escobar. You might know my grandfather, Pablo. And Tony's like, say what? And he's like, yeah. And he opens up the briefcase, and Tony's like, oh my God, am I about to get shot right here? So what happens? There's $500,000 in the briefcase. And they go, we're going to need you to go ahead and take this $500,000 in cash and walk away from your business. And like Tony goes like, this is like a multi-million-dollar business.
It's not anything.
Yeah, $500,000. Like, what are you talking about? So he doesn't take the money. And luckily nothing happens because stuff starts to move pretty quickly from here. So it turns out, you know who sent Pablo Escobar's grandson over to see him?
Who?
Our old pal Mike. Our old pal Mike, who couldn't come up with the $2 million. He couldn't come up with the $2 million, but he certainly found Pablo Escobar's grandson in a hurry.
I got $500,000.
Yeah,
Pablo Escobar.
yeah, I'll find 500. And so while that's going on, Bobby, remember Bobby?
Bobby was which one again? Bobby.
He was the guy with Tommy Lee, the hustler who had a gangster friend who was hanging out with his gangster friend instead of doing his work. Well, he kept hanging out with his gangster friend, but things got fucking crazy between him and his gangster friend because they were both psychologically on this whole other thing because they had been like partners in this business that was becoming the biggest brand ever. And they end up getting into a tussle. Bobby ends up shooting and killing Mark, murdering him.
Oh man, it's always a good doc when you can just weave in some murder in there.
Murder. And guess what? Guess how much time he got for the murder?
20.
Not guilty. I told you this guy could tell a story. He was standing up there. He was talking about this. He was talking about that. And all the jury saw him. They were like, oh, my God, this guy can weave a tale. I think this guy was acting in self-defense. So no jail time for him. I mean, he had to stay in jail waiting for the trial and everything. But, he was found not guilty. He was off the hook. And the reason that the Escobar thing never really panned out was because not too long after, Von Dutch ends up going down, and Tani ends up selling the brand. And they set this up beautifully. They go, problem number one, overexposure. You're seeing Von Dutch everywhere. Instead of it becoming like one of these brands that lasts forever, it's clearly a fad, right? So it's starting to go away. So that's no good, right? So
too much you go and you think about buying it, you're like, no, I'm gonna look like a tool.
Exactly. It becomes a douche tool move pretty quickly. Number two, forgeries everywhere. Like it's such an easy logo to fake. They said for a period of time, Louis Vuitton and Von Dutch were the two biggest bootlegged brands in the world. There was like, I think that they were doing like however many millions of dollars in sales a year, like a lot. But they said that the bootleg industry was making $1 billion a year on fake Von Dutch stuff. So with all that happening, I was like, well, that must be why Von Dutch kind of ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. Because guess what else? Guess what we find out at the height of Von Dutch's popularity?
What?
Von Dutch, the guy,
Yeah.
Nazi.
Oh no.
He was a Nazi.
What?
Yes. Yes.
They could weave in some Nazi into
He was a Nazi. As they go like this. They go, Tawny goes, all of a sudden, I'm sitting here in my store, and Fox comes up to me, and they go, hey, we're filing this report. Do you have any comment on this? And he's like, on what? And he goes, oh, this letter that was just uncovered from the deathbed of Von Dutch, where he said he couldn't live in a world anymore that was overrun by, I believe he said Mexicans, Jews, and you know what other word he used?
What?
The N-word.
Oh.
And he described himself as having Nazi beliefs. And they went, oh, no. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
I guess you can call me a Nazi.
And then they go like this. They go, how did you get this information, by the way? And they said, somebody leaked it to us. Guess who leaked that information to the press?
Bobby?
Ed Boswell, who had the patches from the very beginning, all the way back. Remember I told you Ed Boswell had the rights and he was the only one that actually knew anything about the artist?
Yes.
He saw everybody going crazy for Von Dutch. He was like, fuck it. You guys should know. He's a Nazi.
Well, why did he start this whole thing if he knew it?
Well, that's what, see, Tawny, he's pissed. So Mike's pissed at Tawny. Mike is furious to this day. Mike is furious at Tawny. He says in the doc that anybody that does the type of things that Tawny does should watch his back. So Mike is pissed at Tawny. Bobby is just all fucked up from everything he's been through, and he shot his friend. Like, he just wants to help people now. He doesn't want to ruin anybody's life anymore. Tawny is furious at Ed Boswell because that's what Tawny says. He goes, well, if he knew he was a Nazi, I don't know why Ed Boswell started this whole thing to begin with. Maybe Ed Boswell is a Nazi. That's what he said. And Ed Boswell is just
safe in there.
Ed Boswell is pissed at everybody because they all screwed him over. And he's also says he's ashamed of himself because he loves Von Dutch. He's a Von Dutch fan. That's why he started the whole thing. Except he's also the one who told the world that he's a Nazi because he was so mad that everybody was making money off Von Dutch except him. So, moral of the story, it wasn't the bootlegs. It wasn't the douchebags. In like 2004, it was this new phenomenon that we're all just talking about now called cancel culture. I mean, how amazing is that? How great is that story?
I mean, this all could have been avoided too because at the end of the day, Von Dutch, no one really knew about that. You could have slapped anything. I feel like
you could have just put a different word on the hat. You're right.
Yeah.
You could have put Von Winkler, you know, and then you get like, yeah.
Oh man, and I thought Von Dutch was just like who owned the brand. I didn't fucking know anything about his history.
Nope.
Von Dutch was a goddamn Nazi.
He was a Nazi. He was a Nazi who was real good at pinstriping.
Good style. This guy, look, one thing you can't fault the Nazis is their style.
I don't think that it was Nazi style. He had a system of beliefs. I don't think that a style comes along with the system of beliefs. But I do find it remarkable that all this happened after this guy died. Like, can you imagine the Sam Roberts name has a legacy? Like, this is the legacy. Like, by the way, they did a 3-episode, it's a 3-hour documentary for all intents and purposes. Nothing is about the guy's life. Nothing. No. Like, his entire life is secondary to the insane story all surrounding who gets to put his name on a trucker hat.
Would you feel some kind of way if, like, something happened to you and I decided to carry your legacy by making some Not Sam trucker hats?
I'd be like, that motherfucker never even wore the jacket I gave him. Don't let him make a penny of my great name that I've created.
I'm right here saying I'll just own the Not Sam clothing brands. That's all.
That's it. Just the clothing brands.
That's all I want.
No, get him to sign. You get that. You can get him to sign anything. He'll sign his life away. We can get that. We can get him. No, yeah. See, you're not Tawny in this story. You're like, you're one of the earlier,
Shoots. I got kicked out way earlier.
Yeah. And poor Mike's over here. Mike's over here going like, no, we got to stay true to the brand, right? And Christian Audigier comes in going, fuck that. We got to make some money. They gave Anna Nicole Smith her own subline.
They got that far.
No,
deep?
not Anna Nicole. Anna Nicole. Was Anna Nicole Smith?
The one who married the old man?
Yeah, okay. Anna Nicole
Yeah.
Smith. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anna Nicole Smith. Yeah. She got her own clothing brand. Yeah. Her own subline of like gaudy pink velour Von Dutch jumpsuits and stuff like that.
All I know is, man, Kutcher made that brand for me. I mean, I with that thing everywhere.
Yeah. Well, it goes a lot deeper. Alex Kivitron says, what are your thoughts on season 2 of Tiger King? I only seen the part that I'm in so far. I haven't watched it yet.
The first minute.
I think I'm at minute 8, but I did skip the first 7 minutes and just went straight to minute 8.
Yeah. All right. I mean, the sequel's never going to be better than the original.
I can't tell you. I might watch it at some point, but yeah. Hey, man, look, there's one rule of Sam Roberts now, and that's that every super chat gets read. Every super chat. If you want to contribute, if you haven't checked out the show before because it's on too late, every super chat gets read. Let's get into these super chats. Oh, boy. Oh, here we go. We can just scroll up, Ski. Dave Bastian, give us some good news about the contract, baby. All right. You ready for the update? Hot Dog? You don't even know the update, do you?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to my attention that SiriusXM apparently doesn't work over Thanksgiving because there ain't nothing going on. I mean, I don't care how dry your turkey was. The dryness in the air of the contract discussions is drier than that. Nothing.
Left on red.
Nothing. Yeah. We got, I believe, 1 week of shows on the extension that we have now when we come back. That's what we got for you.
You guys come back this week?
Monday, yeah.
Okay.
Monday.
All right.
Yep, we'll be on Monday, though.
Week.
Rob Tom. Oh, wait, let's go back to over here. Pinky Schultz, here with you live, boys. Always a pleasure, Pinky. Not Sam Lehman. Sam, you are just mad that Kid Rock has always stayed true to himself. It's everyone else who's changed. Don't mess with the bull god. See? You write that shit on
this.
You chew on this. You write that shit on Twitter. They will not. They will take you very, very literally. Very, very literally. Matt Googly Lemo. Sammy Shitfarts, please never stop mucking about with the piggy boy. You guys are the best and the world needs you. Excited to see what's next for you guys. I appreciate you, buddy. Big JL21. Where's the freaking gabagool? Hey, you know where to find the gabagool. Every Thursday right here on the Not Sam YouTube channel. Sopranos Prima Volta, starring yours truly, as well as Ian Fidance. New episode dropped yesterday, 2 p.m. Eastern. So after we're done with this show today, you can go ahead and click over to Prima Volta and watch that. By the way, get those likes up. Hit the like button right now. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to the channel.
69, baby.
That's right. Not Sam's Grim Reaper. Happy Lonely Friday, Sammy Boy and Hot Dog. Come on, man. That's right. James Malaspino, NSFW, Not Sam Federation of Wrestling. Take my money. I'll tell you what. I got to go hit up Tony Sorensen, see if he still wants to invest. See if he's got any of that Von Dutch money left. Michael Gonzalez, please let Mr. Norton know that I subjected my friends to a Friendsgiving watch of Demons and Ghosts from Hell. Oh, boy. And now it's a tradition. Wow. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jess, Lil Edgar, and that second kid. I appreciate that, especially the second kid. Ellie Munoz, Sam, it's time to go on your apology tour, Palooza 2021. Which millennials do you start with? Nick Cannon, Britney Spears, Mandy Moore? I don't know. Maybe Michelle Branch needs the apology. Could be Michelle Branch. Alex Stoll, you mean for merely 10 buckaroos, I can have the last professional broadcaster utter my words on air? Worth every pecka-sucking penny. Fuck yeah. Let's go, Brandon. Hope Jim and Sam is still kosher. Appreciate you. We'll keep it going. Don't want to miss any. John Fritsch, hopefully you're broadcasting in hi-fi. It's high fidelity. Rob Thompson, good evening, Sam. Good evening, Hot Dog. Happy for you, Sam, on the 11s. No access for this dude, but I think I have a shot. I got those cool gray Jordan 11s. They came today. They arrived. I got them in hand. They're sick. I got to get another pair when they come out next month. Next month. Dave Bastian, Ralphie is coming to destroy Ian. Commendatore. Oh, Ralphie is going to destroy Ian. Yeah, I can't wait. Commendatore until he gets there. How far along are you, Hot Dog? Where are you at in your...
I'm far. I'm in season 5.
Oh, you're plowing through these.
Plowing through it.
You're not gonna, no clips are gonna spoil anything else for you, huh?
No, I'm trying to finish it this week, and then I can go on my binge of everything Sopranos and discussion and all that stuff.
What do you think about Ralphie?
Which one? Wait, which one is Ralphie again?
Ralphie Serretto with the, Joey Pants with the bad orange hair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't like him. So
Piece of shit. Dave Bastian, this, I'm assuming is for you, Hot Dog. This is going to be a tough one.
This is a tough one.
F, marry, kill. Kid Rock, Von Dutch, or Angie.
Oh, wow. I might actually have to change my my usual way.
You better not. You better not.
This is a rough one here. I'm going to go, or the easiest would, fuck.
Easiest one.
Kill. All right.
Don't disappoint the people.
No, I'm killing Angie. Fucking Von Dutch, and I'm marrying Kid Rock.
Okay, all right. I would have gone yeah, that's true because Von Dutch doesn't have any of the Von Dutch money, so you're probably right. Yeah. JD Straight Shot, Sam, if you get your own XM show after they fire Jimmy, you will have completed the hat trick. Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, then everything will be whole within the universe. Hot Dog. Oh, I appreciate you chiming in, Hot Dog. No such thing as perfect feet. We had a perfect pair in recently. Hashtag mashup Nicole. Yeah, I don't know. I should have. See, if I'd known Aaron Rodgers was going to be doing this when Nicole was in here to do our used season 3 recap, I would have made her show her feet too. I would have accused her of COVID toes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Bastian. HD is the scorpion to Sam's frog. Neither drown. Appreciate that. Ernie, plot twist, Jim and Sam show dropped, Chip and Sam show signed. Stranger things have happened. Dave Bastian, I'm genuinely scared Thumbs Up AJ is going to kill you. Well, the only thing we can do then is honor Thumbs Up AJ by clicking the thumbs up on this video and you know what I mean, and trying to get there. Look, guys.
Rob Thompson.
Oh, is there another one? Oh, yeah. Rob Thompson. Feels like a super chat takeover. A little bit. But it doesn't have the same, like, super chat takeovers are really rougher late at night. Like, when it creeps into, like, 12:30 and you guys won't leave me alone, that's a little tougher. But still, I mean, either way, I guess I am yielding a lot of power to you. But we're done with that. We're all finished with everything. I appreciate all you guys. Let me know, whether it's in the comments or on Twitter or wherever, if you think this is a good start time or you like the late night start time. Experimenting with a couple of things, just trying to figure out what works for everybody. So if you like sometime around 6 p.m. Eastern, let me know. If 10:15 p.m. Eastern is more your flavor, let me know that
feels
too.
Right. Let us know.
Yeah, what feels right. And don't forget, I'm going to cheers with you later. We'll see you soon. Subscribe to the channel. Get all the content. Have a good night, everybody.